What bone-chilling discoveries will you make as you delve into the depths of ancient Egypt's most sacred spaces? Crack open the doors to a sealed tomb, and you are likely to be greeted with the same thing almost every time: lice. Ancient Egypt was overrun with lice for centuries. There were all kinds of homemade remedies to fight them off. Date meal and water, chewed up and then rubbed over the infested site, was one solution offered. But far more disturbing were recommendations to cover your entire body in cat's fat. One cat alone might not have had enough fat on it to cover an entire person, and definitely not multiple occasions, so who knows how many cats were executed for this very purpose. Cats were supposed to be sacred in ancient Egypt, which just goes to show you how desperate they were to get rid of the problem. Most Egyptians gave up entirely and went totally bald. If you've ever wondered why so many depictions of Egyptians are bald, you've got your answer. Other historians would argue that it had more to do with the extreme heat conditions and trying to keep your head cool. Cleopatra herself was actually bald, choosing to wear wigs in public. Notoriously the most beautiful woman to have ever lived, there are apocryphal accounts that claim she actually had alopecia. These often have little to no evidence. Whether she was actually as beautiful as they claim is also dubious. Cleopatra likely had one of the best propaganda mills in the world at the time and lived in an era where not many people would have had the opportunity to see her face to face, let alone document it. What went into being a woman in the Egyptian era? You may well have heard that Cleopatra was the owner of the first adult toy. Unfortunately, that was not true. Her device, a small container of bees that would jostle around angrily when shaken, has no basis in historical evidence. Such a device has never been found and likely wouldn't work in reality. No mentions of it can be found from before a niche book in 1992, which just stated it as if it were fact. A far more interesting fact about female sexuality comes when you look at their methods of birth control. And brace yourself, because this really is a horrific fact. One method of contraception that ancient Egyptian women used was to smear their nether regions with a mixture of honey and crocodile dung to create a kinda spermicide.